Let's begin this practice seated. Take a seat. Take a good seat, as some teachers will say. Take a good seat, whatever that means to you. And maybe an easy seat, a seat that feels less straining and effortful. For some of us, this is the hardest part of a practice, just this being still. We want to get moving. So notice that, the discipline required to be still for a moment and breathe and notice what your body needs. Today, I'd like to throw out a big word for a intentional focus for this practice, and that word is Dharma. D-H-A-R-M-A, and in the biggest sense, it can mean teaching, knowledge, but in the biggest sense, it means your life's purpose. It means the reason you showed up here however many years ago as an infant, and the reason you're here today. It means that thing that pulls at your heart. And there's no one who can tell you what that is. There's no institution, no organization, no teacher who knows what that is. Only you know what your Dharma is. So in these first few moments, you might notice that because you've come from the noise and busyness of the morning, it's like being on top of choppy water. There's no way to connect to something as vast and big and beautiful as Dharma when we're up on the choppy water. We've got to drop below. We need to come down below the surface where things are more still and more quiet to find those kinds of knowing. So we're headed below the surface this morning. I'd like you to notice the way the breath rises and falls in the beginning of this practice, and let your body follow along, rising, kind of sitting taller, puffing up, being a little more buoyant, and then falling, softening, and maybe even deepening roots on the exhale. Just feel that. Just imagine a little bit of a wave or a kiddie roller coaster, just up and down with breath. And I'll invite us to use that flow of breath in our postures today, the lifting and expanding, the buoyancy, and then the deepening, the rooting, the sinking below on our exhales. So let's add to that movement a shoulder shrug. So on the inhale, the shoulders come up high by the ears. On the exhale, push your shoulders back and down. Do that with big, deliberate movements, feeling those muscles around the shoulders with your breath. This morning, you get to be your own guru. That definition of that word is one who brings light to the darkness. You get to be that for yourself this morning. Let your arms reach up to your sides, fingertips high, look up at your hands, and bring your hands together in front of your heart as you exhale. Do that a few times. Sweep the arms high. That buoyancy of the inhale, and draw your hands to your heart. The softness of the exhale. You might start to hear the sound of your breath. Bring your hands to your heart. Let your thumbs touch your sternum and drop your chin a little and hear your breath. If you were a deep sea diver, as soon as you drop below the surface of the water, you hear your own breath. Make that sound. Be here beneath the surface with your own breath and your own knowing. Starting with knowing what's right for your body in this practice. Bring yourself around into a tabletop position and continue that buoyancy breathing in cat-cow. So inhale, lift your chest, lift your hips. Exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. This morning, you'll have a couple of choices in every single section of class. And so the first choice, stay with cat-cow. Second choice, shift your body way forward and way back into child's pose, making the forward and back movement bigger. And your inner teacher knows smaller or bigger, more or less, gentle or strong. There's no way I can know that for you. I can offer suggestions, but I don't know your truth. I can't shine the light on your practice. Let's all reach our hips back toward child's pose, widen the knees, and walk the fingers as far forward as you can. Feeling a stretch here across the armpits, the upper back. And the choice here is stillness or movement. So movement might look like rocking hips from side to side. It might look like lifting and lowering with your breath. Stillness or movement. Hearing the sound of your breath beneath the surface. Raising up once again into a tabletop position. We're going to keep our right knee where it is, and we'll kick the foot off the edge of the mat. Open up your left leg and come into kneeling side plank. You might want some padding underneath that right knee, a little bit of support there. And then press your left foot firmly flat into the floor so it feels stable. The left arm's going to come up over the ear and give you a nice long side body stretch. Let this arm fall across your face, and as your fingers draw across the earth, raise your body up into a T and lean over your extended leg. And let's take that action again. Drop the hand to the floor, arm reaches over the ear, it crosses the face, circles around, bringing you up and over. A lot of movement going on here, sideways and around and over. You're here to just explore what's beneath the surface. Feel, breathe, and notice. That's all. You're not here to get ahead, to be better than you were yesterday. You're just here to notice what's below the surface. To leave here just knowing the very next step for you. Hold this gate pose, reach your fingers high and open here into the side of your body. And then lower the hand again. And as you do, teeter-totter that extended leg up, bend the knee, and find your ankle. Kick your foot into your hand and take a few deep breaths here across the front of your body. Just opening this space here to observe. And releasing, plant the foot, circle the arm over. And we're going to come into downward facing dog in between sides. So lift up and explore here. Your two choices, stillness or movement. Maybe a little of both. Take the lead and be your own teacher here. Finding something that your body needs. As we drop the knees again to the earth, let's pad up under the left knee, kick the foot off, and extend the right leg. Coming into this kneeling side plank, plant your foot so you're stable. And then reach that arm up over your ear. Right arm, nice long side body stretch. Circle over the leg and bring yourself up and into gate pose. And then we'll go back again. Hand to the floor, arm over the ear. Circling around, up and over. Moving with your breath. What's below the surface? Let's go one more time around. And we'll hold gate pose. Breathing into the side body, feeling this stretch and space. And then go ahead and roll over, lifting that side leg. Bend your knee and catch your heel, your ankle. Then the foot just kicks into the hand, the heart opens, the breath expands. Find that buoyant breath once again. Expanding and softening. And let's release that, the hands to the mat. Come once again into downward facing dog. Choosing again stillness or movement. And let's walk our feet to meet our hands. Come into a forward fold. If you'd like, you can touch your fingers to your elbows. Coming into ragdoll. And then pressing hands to shins, let's lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And do that 2 more times, press to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press to lengthen. And fold just a little bit deeper, knees soft, belly on your thighs. On your inhale, sweep your arms up. Let's find extended mountain. Reach high. Keep your feet firm, but start to stretch side to side here. Just a little bit of a wave in your body. Notice if that gets to the point where it feels harsh or forced. And see if you can find a little softer edge. A little more like the seaweed, Just that wavy side to side motion in your body with your breath. And then let's reach high on an inhale and slowly lower the arms to the sides. Keep your feet right where they are, hinge from the hips, bend your knees, and bring your hands in front of your heart. Come into this little bit wider than normal chair pose. We're just going to work an easy twist in this chair pose. So on your inhale, bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand to your low back. And then just use your arms to open and look over your shoulder. Breathe there. Come back to center, hands to heart. Right hand to left knee, left arm on your low back, and use your hands to gently encourage a twist to the side. And coming back to center, hands at heart center, lift tall, reach high, find a little back bend, and swan dive, forward fold. Put that bend back in your knees. Inhale, arms up, find a back bend, swan dive, forward fold. One more time, deep bend in the knees, sweep up, reach back, a little back bend, and forward fold. Press your hands to your shins, lift halfway. Hold here, feel your strong core. Either keep your hands on your knees or float your hands behind you, airplane. Connect again with that sound of your breath. Bend your knees and sweep up one more time. Find your back bend. And we'll exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. So for today, since it's about choice and being your own teacher, I'm going to give you the choice of vinyasa. So now would be a good time. If you are practicing, let me give you a couple of tips. If you're practicing vinyasa, and come forward, knees or toes. You're going to spin your elbows and just lower halfway down. Melt to the floor and rise to cobra. That's one way to do vinyasa. The other is to stay on your toes, halfway down, and lift to upward facing dog. Choices. Find your breath. Let's lift the right leg in the air, circle out the ankle, free the foot a bit. And then exhale, stepping that foot between the thumbs. We'll drop the back knee. Let's find a kneeling lunge. Core is engaged. Bring your hands to the knee in front of you and lift. So we're going to find that hip flexor. As you do, left arm comes forward and across your body, and you're going to hold your left arm kind of at the tricep with your right hand. You're going to find a little stretch in the back of your left shoulder. Just breathe there. It's kind of our first entry point into that muscle, those muscles. And then bring your right hand to the top of the thigh. Left arm reaches forward, up and back. You can stay on your knee or lift your back knee. Choice. If you like, you can add both arms up overhead in this high lunge. Nice. Then bring your hands back to your heart and we'll take that same kind of twist. So left hand to right knee, right hand to low back, open to your right. If you'd like to go a little deeper, slide that left hand down the leg a bit farther. Releasing back to center. Let's take both hands to the mat in front of us. We'll bring the back foot to meet the front foot. Come down into a forward fold and shake your legs out. Press to lift halfway, lengthen through the crown, and then sweep your arms up. Find extended mountain, maybe a little back bend. And swan dive again, forward fold. Feet step back to downward facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa or stay here. Knees or toes. You're gonna choose vinyasa wisely, not because you have to or you should. Kind of examine your reasoning. Raise the left leg high, circle the ankle. And slowly step the left foot between your thumbs. Drop your back knee. Moving now into the right hip flexor. Let's bring our left hand to the left knee. Bring ourselves a little more upright. The right arm reaches forward and stretches across the body. Then use your left hand to kind of encourage that right shoulder blade to open a bit more. Notice that relationship between the front of your right hip and the back of your right shoulder. Bring your left hand to your left thigh, right arm forward and up. Kind of feel now as that muscle is being asked to be strong. You can stay here or tuck your toes. And if you've lifted there, both arms up, high lunge. Find your breath. Lowering the hands, right arm to left knee, left hand to low back, twist. Breathe. You can stay up high or slide that hand down a bit to deepen, lengthen the spine and deepen the twist. This is the yoga path that you're on today. The invitation is to make it yours. Not mine, not your neighbors, not yoga journals. What's your yoga path today? Could be different every day. Let's release the hands. Step the back foot to meet the front foot. Shake out the legs and lift halfway. Lengthen through the crown, pull your shoulder blades onto your back, and then inhale, arms high, extended mountain. Again, a little back bend if you like. And hands to heart. Let's go through one full sun salutation. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose choice, knees or toes. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, choice, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Hear your breath again, come below the surface. See what's here underneath the choppy waves. Take a look forward, step or hop your feet to your hands. Lift halfway, really lengthen this time. Your hamstrings should be a little bit warmer. Exhale, fold, grab the backs of your heels and pull yourself into deeper relationship with your legs. Belly can be on the thighs, knees can be bent. It's like you're trying to put the top of your head on the tops of your feet. Someday, never know. And then put a bend back in your knees, lengthen through your spine, and inhale, arms overhead. Open your arms out into a T. We're going to take eagle pose for this next sequence, just with our arms. So the right arm crosses underneath the left, and then wind your hands up. The right arm goes underneath the left. Sink your hips down into chair pose. And you're going to squeeze your legs together. So instead of eagle legs, you get to stand on both feet. But we're looking through our hands. We're feeling this opening in the upper back. Option to come into balancing chair. Lifting up onto your toes. Need to widen your feet, you can. Breathe here. If your heels are lifted, let them drop, sit a little bit lower. And then inhale, keep your arms bound, pull your elbows up as high as you can. Reach, breathe, open. On the exhale, squeeze underneath your armpits, hinge from the hips, and lower into forward fold. Keep your arms in a bind. You'll feel that gravity changing things in your upper back. Release your hands to the ground. Kind of let them dangle. Your shoulders might feel a little strange right now. Lift halfway. And sweep your arms all the way up again. Extended mountain. Opening out into a T. Left arm crosses underneath the right. Just feeling upper back. Sink your hips down into chair. Breathe here, and if you didn't get a chance to try balancing chair on the other side, try it here. Feet together or slightly apart. Staring at something that's right in front of you. Drishti. Breathing below the surface. If your heels are lifted, drop them. Inhale to lift your elbows. There's a little bit of a back bend as the elbows lift high. Exhale, squeeze your armpits, soften your knees, hinge from the hips, come down into a forward fold. And let gravity pull at the upper back. Release your arms and let them dangle at the floor. Shake out your shoulders. Loosen up your neck. Press to lift halfway. And on the exhale, plant your hands. Strong shoulders, step back slowly into downward facing dog. Option here to take a vinyasa. On your in-breath, friends, raise your right leg high. Step that foot through. Let's drop the back heel and we'll come up into warrior one. Open your arms out into a T. And let's take eagle arms again. This time we're going to cross left arm under, right arm over. Wrap the arms. The left under, right on top. And let's move with breath here. So let's inhale, lift and look up. Exhale, hinging over the front leg, elbows toward the right knee. Again, your body knows if you need to keep your hands released, maybe it's more like you're giving yourself a hug instead of bound in eagle arms. One more time, lift as high as you can, little back bend. And as you come over your leg, we're going to release the hands and open into half moon. So if you have a block or something you'd like to grab, bring your fingertips to the floor and lift your back leg. Find deep, solid, strong breath. Good. I'm seeing lots of wobbling in the windows. That's a good thing. Congratulations if you fall. You win. You learned something new today. Woo. You want to know how to cheat half moon? Bring your hand backwards a bit. It's kind of to the outside of your right foot. Give yourself something to lean on. We'll cheat. The top hand comes to the top hip. Step that foot down and move into wide straddle with a long and loud exhale. Shake it out. Kind of get loosey-goosey here. Just let your body dangle down. Feel your shoulders, feel your hips, feel your breath. In this wide straddle, just slide your hands forward. So arms almost like you're in a downward facing dog. Let your head fall down between your shoulders. You might move around a little bit through that shoulder girdle area. Reach your fingers farther, pull your hips back and feel that space. And then we'll lift and lengthen halfway. Turn toward your left foot. You're going to turn your left foot and move to the back of your mat. Let's come up into warrior one. Reach and breathe. The arms open out in a T. Right arm crosses underneath the left. Wind your arms up in some way. Maybe again, you're giving yourself a hug here if that feels better. And you're just moving with your breath. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Touch the elbows to the knee. Your breath leads the way. You are the teacher here. This time we'll slowly unravel the arms. Set your wingspan first as you reach your left hand for the floor. If you've got a block, kind of put that out to the front left corner of your mat and launch. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Another little trick is if you look at the floor, it's a little easier to balance than if you're looking around. Imagine that your right fingers could touch the ceiling. And then let's lower the right hand to the ground. Step the back foot down. Downward facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa. Maybe even two. Maybe child's pose. Your choice, your practice. Whatever your choice was, raise your left leg, circle your ankle, and that will complete that sequence. And then go ahead and lower, step that left foot through, come back again into wide straddle. And here in this wide position, turn your toes out, bend your knees, and wiggle from side to side. Let's get into some hip openers here. You can stay here about halfway down with deep bend in the knees, or you can move yourself into Malasana prayer squat if you want to bring your feet in a little more and drop your hips down. Some of you might enjoy just bending and straightening. Let's take a few breaths here to just kind of explore hips, knees, and ankles and what your body needs here. If you are in Malasana, reach your tailbone for the earth and reach your head for the sky. So create some traction in your spine. And let's release our hands to the ground. And however is possible for you, go ahead and drop down to all fours. Take the knees wide and drop the hips back into child's pose. We're going to bring our palms together, elbows to the mat, head down, and let your hands float to the back of your head. Elbows forward, hips pull back. Moving the stretch now into the triceps, the backs of the arms. As we release the hands to the mat, since Brittany suggested upper back, I know what she's asking for. It's a pose called knot pose. I know it's her favorite. So we're going to do that today, but I'm going to give you a choice first. So option one is thread the needle, and you'll get into that from a tabletop position. We'll start by lifting the right arm up, and we'll scoop the right arm under so you'll be here on the back of your right shoulder. That's your choice. You can use hand or foot to kind of push you more onto your back. If you are going to choose knot pose, you're coming all the way down onto your belly. And you're sliding your right arm underneath your left. The arms are straight out. They're above the chest. You could pause here or tuck your toes and come forward until your head touches the earth. Maybe you're making sounds like that too. One option is to put something under your forehead, a block or a pillow. This is an uncomfortable pose for most people. That's the kind of the idea. Whatever you've chosen, move your breath into the back of your body. Notice where else you're clinging or gripping. Come back to this buoyant, full breath. Inhale to expand, and the exhale to drop. Here beneath the surface, your inner teacher is here to guide you through an uncomfortable place. what's happening here in the stillness where things are kind of hard. Take one more deep breath in here, fill your back up. And as you exhale, lift your head, start to wiggle out of either knot or thread the needle. Everybody come down onto your belly and let your arms come to your sides. Let's move in the opposite direction. Interlace your hands and open. If that doesn't work, just lift your arms. Breathe here as you close your back and open your front. And then hands by your shoulders, press back to child's pose. Move slowly. You're going to notice a lot about your shoulders here. Breathe. So second side, lift to tabletop. If you're doing thread the needle, the left arm comes up and rolls through. You're on the back of your shoulder. If you're coming into knot pose, knot, drop down onto your belly. Thread the left arm under the right. Wiggle your fingers out wider. And then choice, stay here. Or inch your body forward to drop your head, either onto something or the floor. And there you go. Taking deep breaths, noticing. Beautiful. I'm seeing a lot of different choices. Way to be in your own body and your own best teacher. Willing to take yourself into a place of discomfort and be there with your breath. Willing to untie your own knots. Let your breath be buoyant, filling up and lowering down. Again and again. Wherever you are, start to release by taking a deep breath. Lift your head, unwind your arms, reach back. Hands toward each other or maybe interlaced. Breathe here. And then as the hands come to the shoulders, move super slow, slow motion, coming up and back again into child's pose. This time, let your elbows be close to your body, maybe even creating a pillow for your head. And just let go here. Let go with a breath. Let go with a sigh. And from here, we'll press ourselves around to a seat. If you have kind of tight hips today, this last seated posture might be uncomfortable, so grab something to sit on. A block or a cushion might help. We're just going to cross the right leg over the left leg. And we're gonna try to stack the legs on top of each other as much as possible. Okay, so you can be, this knee can be up. If this hurts your knees, the bottom leg can stay straight like this, okay? So we're crossing the legs over. And as we do this, bring your arms out one more time into a T. This time, the left arm comes across the body and the right arm, let me do that, let's see. Yeah, left arm is under, right arm is over. And we're gonna make that V shape. Instead of binding all the way into eagle, we're gonna make the V shape. So left arm under, right arm over. And in this V, we're gonna lift high. Lift high, you're gonna feel like a referee saying you're safe. Exhale, touch your left elbow to your right knee. And do that again with breath 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale to lower, let your hands come to your shoulders. So you're literally giving yourself a hug. And I want you to massage the backs of your shoulders with your fingers. Like dig in, whatever you can reach, whatever you can find. Hank, you can reach over and massage Gail's shoulders for her. Lucky, Gail. Just dig in. You might turn your head a little bit, like hopefully this is distracting from what's happening in your hips. Maybe not. And release, come up and just slowly bring your arms down to both sides of you. Pause here for a moment with eyes closed. Feel your spine, feel your shoulders, your breath. And we'll switch legs. So you can use your hands to pull that top leg off. We'll cross the left leg over the right. So again, the bottom leg can be out straight. I'm sitting on a block. You can be on something. Left leg goes on top. So stack the legs as much as your hips will allow. Arms open. Now the right arm crosses under the left and make your V. So the right arm really pulls up and kind of adds to the stretch for the back of the shoulders. Lift and lean back. Exhale, fold over, touch the elbow to the top of the knee. Inhale, lift and lean. Exhale, lower. We'll go one more time. Exhale, out loud. And then just resting over your legs, hands come to your shoulders, and you'll find that you have a little different access on this side. Let your fingers find their way into any tightness, any knots between the neck and the shoulders, upper back. Self-care. In Ayurveda, it's recommended that you give yourself a full body massage every morning with warm oil before you get in the shower. It's this really beautiful act of self-care, of just really taking care of the skin that we live in, and just showing this gesture of adoration for this body that we call home. This is a mini version of that practice. Go ahead and release your hands, sit tall, fingertips down, deep breath. From here, we're going right down onto our backs. And we've done lots of shoulders today. Your shoulders might rest more easily on the earth. If there's any final stretch or movement that your body needs before rest, take that now. And then when you're ready, just see if that's true, that your shoulders are a little heavier on the earth, a little less hunched up and rounded today. You might open your hands or your feet wider in Savasana. You might be using props under your knees or a pillow for your head. We're just here for a couple of minutes, so once you find your resting place, find your breath. Find that gentle, buoyant breath that lifts and fills you just softly, and then lowers your body gently into the earth, just lifting and lowering like a wave. As much as possible, bring Shavasana with you to a seat. Bring this inner gaze, this inner focus. As much as possible, eyes closed. And let one hand come to your heart, one hand come to your belly as we close out this practice today. This is the place of truth in you, of knowing, of wisdom. We need not look outward one more time for an answer. This wisdom resides right here. Social media doesn't know. Google doesn't know. Your best friend doesn't know. Your teacher doesn't know the truth for you. Right here are all the answers to why you are here and what your very next step is, what you're being called toward. It's all right here. Thank you for taking time today to listen and to trust. Let your hands make a gesture of gratitude for that wise guru within you. Always here, always trustworthy. Namaste.